Earlier this morning, I finished Evangelion. I finished the show. I'm still not deciding whether or not I want to watch the movie. I feel empty inside, really. I know it sounds silly, that a show has filled me with a contemplative feeling of nothingness, but it has. Now, of course, it's partly the fault of the show. The themes it conveys are deeply troubling. To a certain extent, it's about the meaning of life and how to be happy. Can an individual truly be an individual? Or do they need others so as to be themselves? Shit like that. The show is full of shit like that, especially the last two episodes, which, Jesus. It may also be that watching 26 episodes in the space of 2 days is kind of fucking exhausting. Now, of course, I can't just chalk up this empty feeling inside solely on the show. My current mindset is also to blame. I watched the show a couple of months into lockdown. I can't remember the date lockdown began, but I'm pretty sure that at this point I've spent most of the year in lockdown. Actually, yeah, I just looked it up and I've spent about 8 months in lockdown. Jesus. That's 8 months of no true human interaction outside of my direct family. Okay. Of course, I've interacted with my wider family about 5 times, I think, and I've talked to Sergio practically every day throughout the lockdown, but still. But that's 8 months gone. The worst part is that I didn't do shit during lockdown. I finished just one goddamn book in the Wheel of Time series, which, is goddamn long. And the worst part is that I'd started the book before lockdown. I didn't write anything like the Book of Gogloma, which it's still a fucking goal of mine, or any language, or any of the Sea of Thieves short stories, or any of that retarded crap. I didn't use the time to learn any skills like the piano or anything like that. I didn't even get fit. Yeah, I worked out a bit, but not enough. Friday I began Evangelion. I had just finished up my first week of university. It was all done online through Zoom and the university's website. Before I began, I had it in my mind that everything would suddenly get better when university began. Of course, I was wrong. Everything stayed the same. I thought I'd instantly fall in love with linguistics. Of course, that's silly. Linguistics has its good sides and its bad sides. I thought I'd suddenly be motivated to study, and not be a lazy, mediocre student like I was throughout my primary and secondary educational careers. That hasn't happened, and I'm scared it never will. I also know that all this shit is deeply retarded. Of course I wouldn't suddenly do a 180 and become a goddess in human form that is a super motivated, super genius who became the top of her class. Evangelion, it was after a long period of not really watching any TV shows. Well, okay, that's not really true. I had watched Godio Lyoko with Sergio, and I'd just finished I Am Not Okay With This, but it's pretty much the third show I'd watched in a long time. I think one of the reasons I've returned to TV is because I'm bored of video games. At the start of lockdown, I bought Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The first 20 hours were brilliant fun. The other 80 were okay, a bit of slog, but yeah. Well, at that point, the game stopped being a game and became more of a time sink. At this point, I'm bored of single-player games. The only time I enjoy playing is playing Sea of Thieves with Sergio. Now, that's not completely true. Yesterday I took out my PS2 and started playing Manhunt to celebrate October, and that was pretty fun. Now, Manhunt is a fucked up game. The people who made it knew they were crossing a moral line with the shit they were depicting in the game, like Jesus. The goal was to make the player feel disgust with the actions they do. Of course, me being me, that didn't exactly work. I've fallen into a similar play style to the one I had in Shadow of Mordor, as in, I'm a fucking sadist, and if someone kills me, I'll return and torture them. In Shadow of Mordor, this consisted in me finding out the weaknesses of the guy that just killed me, such as finding out they were scared of Grouds or that they had a brother. I would then proceed to trap them in a cave of Grouds or enslave their brother and forcing them to enter a fight to the death. It was pretty fucked up. In Manhunt, this playstyle consists in being killed, reloading the mission, decapitating one of the guys who killed me, throwing his head through a window to distract the other guy that killed me, sneaking up behind them, and then killing them with a knife. It's pretty fucked up. The worst part is I don't do this because I have to. The game encourages you to do some fucked up shit, but nothing this fucked up. I do this out of my own free will and with glee. I extract pleasure from sadistically seeking vengeance on a collection of pixels that kill me based on a pattern of ones and zeros. The worst part is that this bizarre fucking ritual of seeking vengeance on bleeps and bloops is probably one of the closest ways I've come to feeling like I'm interacting with other people. They do something, I react. In this case it's violent, in real life it's not so violent. I hope. But anyway, back to Evangelion. I liked the first 19 episodes, they were very fun. Then, exactly at episode 20 it went off the rails and started getting philosophical and, it became extremely uncomfortable to watch. I give this show a 9 out of 11. Thank you.